A suspected drunk driver plows into several parked cars in a quiet East Texas neighborhood. This morning, my family says something needs to change before someone gets seriously hurt. And the federal government shutdown just hit its third week, and there's still no deal in sight. We'll tell you what's keeping lawmakers from reaching an agreement.
And we're tracking some showers already on our CBS19 live radar as well as our satellite radar. We'll tell you just where they are and how long they will last in your forecast coming up. So stay right there because Morning Y'all on CBS19 Plus starts right now.
Together, we're putting East Texas first. You're watching Morning Y'all on CBS19 Plus.
It's a topic we've talked about many times here on CBS 19, the fentanyl crisis across the country and here locally. An East Texas man is now sentenced to 40 years in prison for his role in a deadly fentanyl overdose. Deputies found more than 1,000 fentanyl pills and several guns at his home. The latest developments coming up in just a few minutes. Good morning, y'all. I'm Dana Dixon. Jesus Martinez is on assignment. Thank you so much for joining us here on CBS 19 Plus. It's kind of a humid start to your Tuesday after a really cool, crisp morning yesterday. I was expecting that when I walked outside the door this morning, and well, my hair got the shock of a lifetime.
The shock of a lifetime for sure. Yeah, it's a little bit on the more humid side for sure, but we are expecting that humidity to decrease into this afternoon, and we'll get a cooler start to tomorrow morning. That is for sure. We are also watching some showers start to flare up ahead of this cold front, extending as far west as Tyler all the way through Jefferson this morning. We are expecting these showers to continue to build and become a little bit more widespread and continue to move to the south, eventually reaching deep East Texas. So we're going to continue to keep an eye on that. Here's a live look at our CBS 19 studio cam. We got some clouds overhead. It is a very warm morning as we step outside. We got 73 degrees right now in Tyler. 69 degrees is that dew point. We are very humid, and again, we're watching a couple of showers to move through this morning, and then by the later half of the morning and into the afternoon should be nice and rain-free and sunny as we go forward. And temperatures today reaching 80 degrees, north-northeast winds at about 5 to 15 miles per hour. Could have a couple of clouds, at least for the start of the day, but by the end should be nice and sunny. Again, only thing we're watching for is those showers. We're dry altogether for Wednesday, and isolated to scattered thunderstorms coming to the forecast on Thursday and Friday with a bigger system in view for Saturday. We'll go over all the details about that in your full forecast coming up.
Thank you, Joel. A Tyler barber is sentenced to 4 decades in prison for his role in a deadly fentanyl overdose. 28-year-old Calvin Spencer pleaded guilty to murder and drug possession after selling fentanyl pills that led to the death of Michael Crone last October. Crone was found unresponsive at his Tyler home, and an autopsy confirmed he died from a fentanyl toxicity. When deputies arrested Spencer, they found several guns and more than 1,000 fentanyl pills. 2 other men, Joshua Williams and Jason New, also pleaded guilty in connection with the case. Investigators say they tried to destroy Crone's phone to cover up what happened. Williams was given 5 years probation. New was given 10. Both will also be doing community service hours. A frightening wake-up call for one Tyler neighborhood after a man charged with driving under the influence crashed into multiple cars late Saturday night. Doorbell camera video shows the aftermath on Lindsay Lane, where a suspected drunk driver slammed into several parked cars. You can see it right there, waking up residents and sparking concerns about neighborhood safety. The driver was arrested for driving while intoxicated for a second time.
There could be a speeding sign or something, or probably have an officer parked, because there used to be an officer parked by the park. Oh, really? But after that, there haven't been officers lately, so we don't know.
We reached out to Tyler Police about any potential changes to patrols or signage, but they were not available for an interview at the time of this report. A Kaufman County murder trial that's drawn statewide attention is now officially underway. 33-year-old Trevor McEwen is accused of murdering his neighbor, Aaron Martinez, back in 2023. Yesterday, jury selection began. McEwen made headlines earlier this year when he failed to show up in court in May, reportedly cutting off his ankle monitor and going on the run. He was even added to Texas' 10 most wanted fugitives list. McEwen was found nearly a month later, barefoot, covered in mud, and hiding under his grandmother's home in Van Zandt County. We'll keep following this case and bring you updates as the trial continues. Right now, a celebration of life is being organized for 3 people killed last week in a Henderson County home. We have learned the suspect, 29-year-old Christopher Kyle Reed, who then crashed his van into a Buc-ee's and shot himself, is still in the hospital. 5 people were shot, but Kimberly Simpson, Connie Patrick, and Rodney Hammonds were killed. This Saturday, a celebration of life is being held in their honor at the First Baptist Church in Hubbard, starting at 10 a.m. Well, 3 weeks into the government shutdown and no end is in sight, lawmakers can't agree on whether a stopgap spending plan should keep health care costs from rising. And now the shutdown is reaching an infamous historic milestone. Amy Kiley reports.
We need to end the shutdown.
At 21 days, the government shutdown is now tied for the second longest in U.S. history. Democrats say they want a funding bill that addresses Medicaid cuts and expiring Obamacare subsidies.
Tens of millions of Americans are about to experience dramatically increased premiums, copays, and deductibles.
Republicans say they won't discuss that until Democrats pass their funding bill with no changes.
What exactly is there to negotiate?
The shutdown ties 130 years ago when congressional Republicans gave up about half the Medicare cuts they wanted in return for a balanced budget.
Newt Gingrich shut down the government in 1995 because he wanted Clinton to cut Medicare. Clinton wouldn't do it.
We didn't let the fighting stop the negotiating. We also didn't let the negotiating stop the fighting.
The longest shutdown ever remains the one during President Donald Trump's first term. It holds the record of 35 days after Democrats refused to pay for a border wall.
Whatever it takes. I mean, we're going to have a wall.
He didn't get it. And when air traffic controllers started not showing up to work, the Republicans buckled on that.
Unions say this shutdown is hard on air traffic controllers, too. Pre-existing staff shortages have many working overtime now without pay.
You're allowing outside stress to work its way into the control room.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Texans who benefit from the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, may see their benefits go away soon. According to Texas Health and Human Services, if the government shutdown continues past October 27th, SNAP recipients will not get their November food benefits. About 3.5 million Texans could be affected. 7:09, time for your morning headlines. Police arrest a man who they say was planning a mass shooting at Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. A family member alerted police to his threats made during a social media live stream. Officers were standing by at the airport and arrested Billy Joe Cagle in the domestic flights terminal. A search of his truck turned up a rifle and 27 rounds of ammunition. Investigators describe Cagle as mentally challenged. He is facing several charges, including making terroristic threats and being a felon in possession of a firearm. Amazon Web Services is back operational after a massive outage yesterday rippled across thousands of internet sites around the world. Users reported problems with popular platforms like Roblox, Venmo, and Snapchat. Multiple airlines and Amtrak said the outage caused some minor delays and brief technical issues on their ends. AWS says the outage was caused by, quote, an underlying internal subsystem responsible for monitoring the health of our network load balancers. In Uvalde, Legacy Elementary is now open. It replaces Robb Elementary School, the site of the deadly school shooting in 2022. A gunman killed 19 students and 2 teachers in the attack, in which local law enforcement has been condemned for systemic failures and poor decision-making. Uvalde's new school features a number of safeguards, including classrooms that have bulletproof glass and door sensors that will alert staff if a door is left open too long. And cranes were spotted outside the White House as demolition began for President Donald Trump's new ballroom yesterday. It will cost $200 million and is expected to be complete long before the end of President Trump's term. That's according to the administration. The new construction would replace the historic East Wing of the White House, which dates back to 1902. All right, let's get ready to go back to one of the better decades, the 90s. Casa for Kids of East Texas is hosting its biggest fundraiser of the year tonight from 5:30 to 7:30. Expect music, prizes, food, kid-friendly fun, and all the nostalgia the 90s can offer. Our Morning Y'all anchor Jesus Martinez is on one of two teams battling for donations. The team with the most donation gets to pie the other at the festival. Help Jesus and his team by scanning that QR code on your screen, clicking the name under the Whipped Cream Dream Team, and donating. Casa for Kids is a nonprofit that provides trained volunteers to advocate for abused and neglected children across Smith, Wood, and Van Zandt counties. A brew crew is serving coffee and treats at an elementary school in Wisconsin, but they're not the brew crew you might be thinking of. The Panther Brew Crew is a group of 5 fourth graders. On Friday mornings, they turn in to baristas. Madison Marone shares how they're giving back to their teachers.
Iced coffees, hot coffees.
They're supporting the school with joy, filling up their buckets with grace.
And smoothies. Whatever their teachers order, the Panther Brew Crew is on it.
We have to make sure we're doing good stuff for our staff members because they support us. Yeah, they support us and we support them back.
Quinn Brown and classmate Sawyer Nemeth prepared their teachers' treats and delivered the finished products straight to the classrooms. They're gaining teamwork and math skills.
Let's see if I have a 5. Can you make change for a 10?
Yeah, change for a 10. Yeah, sure.
Next time you can.
Sawyer,
I'm the money man because I'm the manager, so I have to add all the money up that are on the sheet.
Social skills, customer service, being able to approach an adult and have a conversation.
Jillian DeLong started Panther Hot Brew a year and a half ago to do something nice for staff members. She helps students out and has been able to see the benefits of the program.
The confidence levels of the kids grow throughout the experience.
You really enjoy it. Yeah,
it's just fun.
Yeah, and you get to see your old teachers that you had like last year.
Thanks, Panther.
Thinking of unconventional ways to really get some of our students who don't always have leadership opportunities to shine in our building.
Oh, those kiddo kids. All right, well, let's check out today's question of the day. Here it is. What is the first concert you ever went to? Okay, well, you know, the question is all about music memories and whether it was a local show or a big name headliner. Was yours big name or was it something more
It's big
intimate?
name.
Okay.
Do you know the Wiggles?
Yes.
That was the first concert I went to when I was 4. Woo!
Oh, just rocking out to the Wiggles.
That's
were
right.
You?
Yep. I love the Wiggles growing up. And then the second concert I ever went to was Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Ooh, they're so good.
Very, very good. I went to that when I was 11.
I love listening to them when it's Christmas time.
Oh, me too.
I have been thinking about this, and I'm not really sure if I remember my first concert. I just don't know. I think it was Charlie Pride at a festival in Beaumont, near Beaumont, a long time ago. But I know also early on I saw the Oak Ridge Boys at the rodeo several times, and so they were also one of my first concerts. Like I didn't pick it, you know, just went with the family.
You just went with the family.
I did like both of them when I was younger.
Sure.
I loved country music. I'm sure I put my little cowgirl boots on and had a good old time. I have to think about what concert I first chose. You know, what's the concert you first chose to go to?
Yeah.
We'll revisit that one in the next time we talk about the question.
Sounds good.
But y'all go over to our Facebook page and tell us what was your first concert. See if we have anything in common this morning. All righty. Well, now it's time to get to traffic, and already, Joel, we're seeing some weather that may cause the roads to make you want to slow down a little bit.
That's right. Yeah, we got some rain that's trying to make its way through ahead of a cold front. This is a view of I-20, also on FM 14. Things are pretty quiet as far as the traffic goes, but yeah, starting to see a little bit of wet roadways out there, so definitely want to keep that in mind as you head over in that direction. Let's take a look at our I-20 report as a whole here. We are looking at about 2 hours still over to Dallas and an hour and 30 minutes over to Shreveport. These are very light rain showers, not expecting any heavy downpours by any means, so should be A-OK as far as I-20 goes. And same goes with US 69. Once those showers continue to make their way through, should be pretty good outside across the area. Still got about 2.5 hours over to Denison, an hour and 30 minutes to Lufkin. Not expecting that to change too much. 55 minutes from Jacksonville to Nacogdoches, 40 minutes from Tyler to Longview, 55 minutes from Tyler to Palestine, and Tyler to Athens is a 45-minute commute. There's those showers extending from Jefferson all the way to Lindale, even in the northern parts of Tyler. Those are where that's where those rain showers that we saw on the camera are. And our visibility is kind of fluctuating here across the area. Got some foggy spots here and across the area, so definitely got to be mindful of that on top of those showers. I would definitely say a yellow light is definitely in order, at least through 9 o'clock at this point. 66 degrees is what we're starting with. 80 for this afternoon. Should be nice and rain-free by that point.
Thank you, Joel. Well, PTSD treatment can be tough to access, but a UT Tyler professor is changing that with a new program aimed to help veterans. That story is coming up. And just 2 weeks left in the East Texas football season, and we've got big matchups ahead, from the Thursday night lights to the Battle of the Unbeatens, coming up next in sports.
It's time for CBS19 Sports.
Morning, y'all. Dan Millay with your sports here. Appreciate you joining us. We've got just 2 more weeks of regular season football in East Texas, but our CBS 19 Under the Lights coverage rolls on as strong as ever. So let me help y'all get ready for what we're bringing here in Week 9. Starting with our Thursday night live showdown, we've got Big Sandy hitting the road to take on Wascom. Beginning with the visiting Wildcats, though they've gotten to celebrate achievements of teams past. This year's been a struggle at 0-7. In fact, the team scored 19 total points this entire year, and they've got a tough test coming in 5-2 Wascom. Now, these Wildcats did lose their last matchup 45-34 to Beckville, but they're coming off a bye week and should be plenty rested for this big cat fight on their home field, Jimmy E. Cox Stadium. So make sure to tune in to CBS 19 Plus this Thursday at 7. Jimmy Searfoss will have the call, and one thing is for sure, the Wildcats are coming away from that one with a W. Looking ahead to our game of the week now, we're showing some love to our smaller schools and 2 of the best in East Texas at that. 7-0 Lovelady at 7-0 Mount Enterprise. The Lions sit at number 2 on our East Texas Fab 15 poll after blanking Alto this past Friday 50-0. And Alto's been good, but Mount Enterprise has been better. Mentioned they're 7-0 like Lovelady, but the Wildcats had a little bit of an easier test on Friday, taking on a struggling Tenaha team, but they certainly took care of business, winning 56-22. This game kicks off Friday night at 7 at John Webb Stadium. Finally, for our kickoff show site game, Jimmy Searfoss and I will be live from Jeff Traylor Stadium at 6:30 on Friday ahead of Gilmer hosting Pleasant Grove. The Hawks have been hot, winning their last 2 games by a combined score of 110-7. Yeah, that'll play. Their only loss of the year came to Kilgore. The Buckeyes, on the other hand, seemed like they were moving in the right direction a couple weeks ago against Pittsburgh, but they found themselves back in the loss column last Friday against Van. Should be a good one, though, so join Jimmy and I in Gilmer this Friday at 6:30. All right, we got a fresh Fab 15 poll here featuring a lot of the teams we just talked about, starting with the big schools. The poll is mostly the same as last week. Lindale drops to 5 after their loss against Kilgore, while Canton and Lufkin swap spots at 7 and 8. Back half here, again, pretty similar to last week. You see at the bottom of your screen, Pittsburgh breaks into the top 15, though, after having dropped off the list. And while they join, Henderson falls off the list after losing 49-21 against Pine Tree, dropping 2 of their last 3. To our smaller schools now, 1 through 8, almost exactly the same as last week. Gladewater sneaks into the 8th spot, though, and there's our game of the week matchup as well. Lovelady at number 2 and Mount Enterprise at 6. Somebody's getting handed their first L of the season. Finally, second half of the small schools again. At this point in the season, these lists aren't going to change a whole lot. We pretty much know who you are at this point in the season. Grand Saline had dropped off the list, but they make it back in the 15th spot, though, after dominating Chisholm on Friday, 46-7. In NFL news, a former ARP Tiger is nearly ready to return to action for the Cowboys. Marvion Overshown, who's been out since last season with a torn ACL, is expected to have his 21-day practice window activated on Wednesday, meaning he'd be eligible to be activated for gameplay on November 12th. The boys could certainly use Agent Zero, causing some havoc on the defensive side of the ball. In Major League Baseball, Game 7 of the ALCS last night between the Blue Jays and Mariners. With the winner headed to the World Series, things looked good for Seattle early as Cal Raleigh dumps one into the seats and right to put the M's up 3-1. But in the 7th, George Springer provides the shot heard around Canada. From down 3-1 to up 4-3 on one swing of the bat, a Springer dinger gives Toronto the lead and sends the fans at the Rogers Center into hysterics as the Toronto Blue Jays are officially headed to the World Series for the first time in 32 years. Game 1 against the Dodgers is coming on Friday night at 7. And finally, believe it or not, the NBA returns today. The Houston Rockets will tip off the season against the defending champion Oklahoma City Thunder tonight. Kevin Durant makes his H-Town debut as the Rockets look to improve on a season that saw them finish with the second best record in the entire Western Conference. That's all the time we have for sports. Morning, y'all. Back to y'all.
Thank you, Dan. We're about to step away for a moment while we break into our over-the-air broadcast with a news update. We'll be right back with more here on CBS 19 Plus. morning, y'all. I'm Dana Dixon. Thanks for being with us for this news update. The owners of Joe's Sports Bar and Grill in Rusk plan to reopen tomorrow following a violent incident over the weekend. Chief Scott Hegney says that the shooting was linked to Paul Peace's emotional reaction to seeing his estranged wife with another man. Paul got into a fight at the bar. He left and came back, this time with his brother Christian and 3 guns. Investigators say Christian fired a revolver several times. Officers were able to detain both men. The owners say this is something they never anticipated.
Very quiet and friendly.
Very quiet here, very peaceful, a lot of friends and family and, regular people that come down here just to have a good time, eat our food, which is delicious, which my wife cooks, and it's very sad to us that this has happened.
The two emphasized that their restaurant is not usually a dangerous place. The Cherokee County Sheriff's Office says both brothers bonded out of the Cherokee County Jail. Christian's bond set at $400,000, while Paul's was set at $20,000. PTSD treatment usually means therapy, long appointments, and for many veterans, a lot of barriers just to get in the door. But a psychology professor at UT Tyler is trying something new, and it is as easy as logging in at home. Dr. Adam McGuire has created a web-based program called Moved, and thanks to a $1.2 million grant from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, he's now launching a full-scale study with veterans across Texas. Instead of focusing on just trauma, Moved uses positive emotions to support healing. Veterans will go through 8 sessions over 4 weeks, all self-guided, all online, and all on their own time. McGuire says it's also about helping veterans feel more connected.
Some folks might not be ready to talk to a therapist. We have all these great in-person therapy options, but for a lot of different reasons, they just might not be ready for that. So providing an alternative approach where they can do it online, they can do it by themselves, that they might be more open to trying that first. And maybe that kind of greases the wheels a little bit, gets folks interested in pursuing additional therapy in the future if needed.
The study will recruit 250 veterans from across Texas. Let's get a check of your forecast now. Things are changing out there.
That's right. We got some showers that we're tracking ahead of a cold front this morning. They won't be lasting too much longer as it continues to move further to the south. Should be out of here by the early afternoon. And then behind the front comes cooler, drier, and much more gustier conditions as we head into this afternoon. We'll see high temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s. And when you combine the dry air and the gusty winds, we do have that risk for wildfire danger here across the area. We have high, very high to even extreme levels of fire danger here across East Texas. Meanwhile, you go further to the south, closer to where the showers are going to be. That's where some of that danger is kind of mitigated, but still not going to be a very good situation, and especially into tomorrow as the dry air really starts to settle into the area. Luckily, there are more rain chances that we're going to be watching for Thursday into Friday, and especially a larger chance on Saturday.
Welcome back to Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus. This is what's coming up in our second half hour. Early voting is underway and runs through the end of the month. Coming up, what you need to know before hitting the polls. And a senior's move to Lindale sparks controversy with the UIL. Risking his final season, we'll hear his heartfelt story and what this means for the future of his sports career.
And this morning in your forecast, we are tracking some showers here ahead of a cold front, very thin line running from Tyler all the way through Jefferson. We're going to time out just how long these will last, and plus we're going to talk about additional rain chances later in this week in your forecast coming up on Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus.
Good morning, y'all. I'm Dana Dixon. Jesus Martinez is on assignment. Thank you for joining us on CBS 19 Plus. Early voting is officially underway this morning and will continue until the end of the month. Voters will have to consider several key items on the ballot for the Texas constitutional amendment election. Polling places across East Texas will open again later this morning, and this year's statewide ballot has 17 of those amendments. Because of how complex some of the propositions are, Smith County Elections Administrator Michelle Alcon encourages voters to do a little homework before heading to the polls.
So there are 17 statewide constitutional amendment propositions on the ballot. That is a lot of wording, a lot of reading. You have to go through that ballot. The propositions themselves, our sample ballots, are on our website so people can know what they want to vote for or against or leave blank before they come to the polls. And I would highly recommend that they do take the time to go through that ballot before they come in.
Smith County residents can vote early at 5 locations, including the Tyler Heritage Building, the Noonday Community Center, and the White House Methodist Church. Well, as we just mentioned, all Texas voters will see 17 state propositions on their ballots. And this morning, we're helping you get ready to vote Texas. Ashley Godot takes a closer look at Proposition 1.
This election, Texans are weighing in on 17 proposed amendments to the state constitution. The subjects range from banning future taxes to increasing the homestead exemption to creating funds to pay for state priorities. Each day of early voting, we will break down different props to help you get ready to vote Texas. Let's start at the top and talk about Proposition 1. Here's what you'll see on the ballot. The constitutional amendment providing for the creation of the Permanent Technical Institution Infrastructure Fund and the available Workforce Education Fund to support the capital needs of educational programs offered by the Texas State Technical College system. Texas State Technical College is a 2-year technical vocational institution with 11 campuses across the state. Prop 1 would create funds to support the infrastructure and program needs of TSTC. Lawmakers say the college is historically underfunded, and without consistent funding, there's no way for school leaders to develop a strategic plan for growth. During debate on the bill, lawmakers said an expansion is something business owners have been advocating for.
With the record growth of employment rates in Texas, the skilled labor shortage also continues to grow. TSTC has a long history of proven performance, and this is why a large group of associations and businesses have been requesting and pushing for the expansion of TSTC into the fastest growing regions of Texas for access to training facilities that produce the skilled workforces needed.
If the prop passes, the state comptroller will make a one-time transfer of $850 million from the budget surplus into the newly created funds. Now, there is some opposition to Prop 1. People say that money could instead go to their other community colleges all across the state that also provide training. The decision, though, is up to you to vote Texas.
Want to know what's on your ballot? Text the word VOTE to 903-600-2600 and we'll send the full list of what to expect at the polls straight to your phone. A new chapter is beginning at Elysian Fields ISD, where Amy Dixon has been named the lone finalist for superintendent. The school board voted unanimously during Monday night's meeting, recognizing Dixon's long-standing ties to the district. She's served as interim superintendent since June, and after a required 21-day waiting period, she is expected to take the role officially. Dixon will also make history as the district's first second-generation superintendent, following in the footsteps of both her parents, who also led Elysian Fields ISD.
It's time for CBS 19 Sports.
The UIL State Executive Committee made a big decision that will keep a Lindale High School senior from playing sports for the rest of his senior year. The student transferred from Tatum ISD, and his family says they moved to be closer to relatives. However, UIL officials wanted to make sure the move wasn't connected to athletics. Sports anchor Dan Millay explains why the UIL ruled him ineligible to play.
The family told the committee they moved from Tatum to Lindale to be closer to their daughter, son-in-law, and newborn grandchild, the only family they have in Texas. They've since sold their home in Tatum and now live in an apartment in Lindale.
If anything, Cooper gave up his opportunity at Tatum to have another great year of success in athletics so that he and her family could be closer. The truth is that this move has nothing to do with athletic purposes. It doesn't even have anything to do with Tatum or Lindale, but everything to do with where our family is.
But UIL officials pointed to the students' participation in summer travel baseball. One of the coaches on that team had a connection to Lindale ISD, and several Lindale players were also on the roster. Both Lindale and Tatum athletic directors told the committee they believe the move was family-related, not athletic. Still, UIL leaders said the summer baseball ties raised red flags about whether the transfer could give the student a competitive advantage.
I love being an uncle. While Cindy visits as often as she can, Cass and Devin are our only family in Texas. My entire family has missed being right down the road from each other as we were in Ohio. I'm at Cass and Devin's house almost every single day, and it has been very good for me. It was not an easy decision, but it was a decision that was best for me and my family. I respectfully ask that the committee understand and grant my appeal. So that I can compete and do what I love while being all together.
The ruling means he'll finish his senior year on the sidelines, though committee members wished him well as he pursues college baseball opportunities.
All in favor of granting the appeal, please raise your right hand. All in favor of denial, same sign. Unanimous. Cooper, we wish you nothing but the best as you go follow your dreams in baseball and in college, and we thank all of you for your participation here today.
Dan Millay, CBS 19.
The committee chair noted that without the Summer League connection, the outcome of this vote might have been different. We have that full hearing on our website, cbs19.tv. PTSD treatment usually means therapy, long appointments, and for many veterans, a lot of barriers just to get in the door. But a psychology professor at UT Tyler is trying something new, and it's as easy as logging in from home. Dr. Adam McGuire has created a web-based program called Moved. And thanks to a $1.2 million grant from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, he's now launching a full-scale study with veterans across Texas. So what's different about it? Well, instead of focusing on just trauma, Moved uses positive emotions, things like inspiration and hope, to support healing. Veterans taking part in this study will go through 8 sessions over 4 weeks, all self-guided, all online, and all on their own time. McGuire says it's also about helping veterans feel more connected to others and to themselves.
Some folks might not be ready to talk to a therapist. We have all these great in-person therapy options, but for a lot of different reasons, they just might not be ready for that. So providing an alternative approach where they can do it online, they can do it by themselves, that they might be more open to trying that first. And maybe that kind of greases the wheels a little bit, gets folks interested in pursuing additional therapy in the future if needed.
The study will recruit 250 veterans from across Texas, especially those who've been dealing with PTSD for over a year. Well, one San Antonio woman is proving age is just a number. At 90 years old, this great-grandmother hits the gym not once, but 3 times a week and works out for nearly 2 hours. Henry Ramos has her secret.
So you try to always do something while you're walking.
Oh, yes. When it comes to the gym, Barbara Green is known to raise the bar.
She is just so mentally sharp and so physically in shape.
Thank you. I'm trying to keep up.
At least 3 times out of the week for nearly an hour and a half, Green, who is 90,
keep them limber.
will be right here working up a sweat.
Okay, we're going over here.
Working out wasn't always a part of her life. Green was busy, raising 4 kids on her own.
When did you really start working out then, Barbara?
Maybe, let's see, I'm 90, probably 8-10 years ago.
You want to get to where she's at. Keep coming in, because exercise is medicine.
I've never been overweight.
Okay.
I've always said I did not want to become a dumpy little old gray-haired lady.
Green eats healthy, no sodas, all water, and says what keeps her going is her family.
I don't want them to have to take care of me. Oh, you're not near through.
Green is beating the odds. According to the CDC, the average life expectancy of a woman in the U.S. is 81 years old. For a man, it is about 75 years old.
My grandmother, who lived to be 102, said, which is, take care of yourself, and the rest will take care of itself.
Dr. Dawn Cherie Walker works at Mission Trails Baptist Hospital. She says it is never too late to start making changes.
People saying, I'll start my diet tomorrow, I always tell them, no, pick one thing that you want to do today.
Got to make sure we have abs.
Yeah, right.
No surprise.
And I do.
The doc says eating healthy, moving the body and the mind,
Bring it up, back.
and listening to your body are the keys to success.
Keep moving, keep exercising, keep friends.
She is so impressive and inspirational, right? Green says she is starting to feel her age a little bit and says she will keep moving until she no longer can. As for the doctor, she says sleep 7 to 8 hours and read for 20 minutes a day or do a crossword. She says it's not just physical, but mental health too. A group of East Texas veterans is in our nation's capital this morning thanks to Brookshire Grocery Company's 21st Heroes Flight. 28 veterans boarded yesterday morning on an all-expense-paid trip to D.C. to visit the memorials built in their honor. The veterans are set to return tomorrow. The community is invited to help welcome them home at 6:15 p.m. at Tyler Pounds Regional Airport. According to the East Texas Grocery Company, since 2010, they've taken more than 550 veterans to Washington, D.C. for what a special trip. All right, it is 7:42 now, just in time for Halloween. Meet Jackie, a stunning orange and black calico lobster, and the newest star at Northeastern University's Marine Science Center. Caught off the coast of Massachusetts, the rare 1 in 30 million lobster got her festive name as a nod to a jack-o'-lantern.
Oh,
she
wow.
kind of has that orangey color, right?
I love the color and how appropriate, right?
And how very original.
Very, very original. Very original. Probably pretty rare, I would say.
We're getting some rain. I don't know. Can y'all hear the rainy rain right now?
Yeah, we
On
got
to the
some
next.
showers.
We'll talk
We're going to talk
about it in a
about that
minute.
later, yeah.
Along the coast of Lagos, Nigerian conservationist Chindu Mugbo is working to save sea turtles threatened by plastic pollution and illegal fishing. After weeks of careful rehabilitation, he releases these endangered turtles back into the ocean. Now, this effort is part of a growing grassroots movement to protect Nigeria's marine life. The country's coastline is home to several turtle species, but their populations are rapidly declining due to pollution and unregulated fishing. Mugbo emphasizes that protecting these turtles is not only vital for the health of the ocean, but also essential for sustaining local fishing communities and their way of life. Good work there.
Yeah, very good. Very good cause. Very good.
Now, on a totally different note this morning, we got to talk food because it's never a morning here on Morning Y'all. We're not talking about food, and this one's a familiar holiday treat. It's getting a new look this year to mark its 40th anniversary. This year, those iconic Little Debbie Christmas tree cakes will feature a special Santa Claus packaging. Look at that. The company is also offering fans a chance to win their favorite Little Debbie Christmas tree cake flavor in their 40 Days of Giveaways contest. Entry forms can be found on the Little Debbie website. Earlier, I was asking you which ones you liked, and I know it's definitely the chocolate flavor.
The chocolate one,
but I don't know if you saw it, there's also donuts.
Oh, really? That sounds pretty
They had me
good.
at donuts. That's the flavor. That's what I'd want, was the little happy donuts.
I will take all of the above.
You know what? If it is Christmas themed, Christmas flavored, or Christmas like decorations, I'm all in.
There you go. I love like the vintage look on these boxes.
I do too.
I really do.
They're really sweet.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's getting closer to Christmas time. Can y'all believe it?
I
Feels
can.
nothing like Christmas
No.
out there. Look, I'm decorated for the season.
You kind of
already.
are. Yeah, you better not step in front of the green screen.
I will disappear. 'Tis the season to enjoy the rain.
Absolutely. Yeah, we got some rain showers traveling through the area right now ahead of a cold front. You might be able to hear it in our studio, but yeah, we got a line of showers starting to move through. Let's take a look outside on our Tyler cam. This is looking north on Broadway this morning. Let's bring this up here. We got those showers starting to move through. It's just a really thin line of showers, not expected to last a super long time, but they're light to moderate in intensity here. So expect maybe some reduced visibilities underneath some of these showers, but we got 72 degrees outside right now. Those showers starting to move through. Dew points at 69 degrees. They are expected to drop, especially as that cold front comes through. We now have north winds 16 miles per hour as a result of these showers combined with the cold front. You can see them traveling from the north to the south. We got some of the heavier showers over in Tyler right now. But by this afternoon, once that passes through, we are going to be in for a much drier and much more pleasant forecast. The only thing you're going to have to watch for, however, is that north-northeasterly breeze of around 5 to 15, potentially gusting up to 20 to 25 miles per hour. A lot like what we saw yesterday is what we're going to be seeing for today. This time around, we're going to be seeing some cooler temperatures in the low 80s this time, but we'll see lots of sunshine, that low humidity really dropping, or that humidity really dropping as we go into this afternoon as that cold front continues to track its way through. We are expected to stay pretty dry, at least for the next couple of days after that, and then humidity will start to go up once again as another system, which could produce a lot more rainfall, moves in on Saturday. But in the meantime, got a couple showers for today, sunny for Wednesday, isolated thunderstorms as that humidity increases on Thursday and Friday, and that is all part of that bigger system that's going to be eventually moving in on Saturday with a larger chance of rain. We could potentially see rainfall amounts up to 1 to 2 inches, and we're going to time all that out and go into a little bit more detail on that in your full forecast coming up later.
Yeah, be careful as you head out. It's coming down out there right now in parts of East Texas. Well, the State Fair of Texas wrapped up with millions of visitors hopping on the rides and enjoying the fair food, but crowds were actually down this year. So what happens to all the leftover food? Coming up, how the fair is turning unused meals into donations for those in need. It's a wrap for the State Fair of Texas, and we're getting a look at attendance for this year. The State Fair officials say that more than 2 million people passed through the gates during its 24-day run, but that is down from last year's 2.4 million visitors. The busiest day was on Saturday, October 11th. Of course, that was the Texas OU game. There were more than 193,000 fairgoers that day. The state fair is estimated to generate more than $600 million in economic activity each year. And now that the state fair has ended, what do vendors do with all that unused food? It's a good question, right? It's no secret that food is expensive these days and the need is great. Dia Walsh shows us the fair's big donation.
The State Fair of Texas welcomed more than 2 million people this year.
Howdy, y'all.
But just around the corner,
we have a food pantry that serves 3,000 families a year.
Thousands of pounds of unused food from the State Fair of Texas is headed to 10 community organizations in and around Fair Park. But here's the thing, it was all donated by vendors from the fair.
That can range from fresh produce to great meats, like we have bacon, we have steaks, we have turkey legs that are out here that are getting donated today to go help feed people in need in this direct community, starting maybe as early as this evening.
Number one, food is more expensive, but people are really excited to get state fair food, right? Sometimes we get corny dogs, we get hamburgers, we get the fries, a lot of things that you can buy here at the fair. You know, we're able to give out to families and they're like, oh my gosh, a state fair corny dog.
Thanks to the very vendors who worked the state fair for 24 days.
My family came from Cuba in 1962. The community helped my family, and being able to bring back food that we're not going to be using this year and making sure that we can give back to the community and help is what's important to us.
Giving back not only food, but dignity.
We want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts to all the vendors that do donate this, all the volunteers that do all this loading and everything. It's a lot. It's just a blessing.
In Dallas, I'm Dia Wall.
All right, good morning, everybody. Let's get into your forecast. Right off the bat, we are tracking some showers on our CBS19 live radar this morning. Very thin line of showers ahead of a cold front, not expected to last very long as they continue to track through. Light to moderate rain is all we can really expect, only lasting maybe about 10 minutes if they happen across your path. And we are going to continue to watch as they move further to the south ahead of that cold front. That cold front will be bringing in some cooler and drier conditions into this afternoon. We'll see lots of sunshine and we'll be a little bit on the gusty side as well, especially as we go into this afternoon. Now that humidity really dropping into this afternoon as that cooler air moves in, and then we'll see a little bit of an increase later this week as another system comes in with additional chances for some rain. But you combine the dry air with some gusty winds into this afternoon, potentially 13 to 15 mile per hour sustained winds, gusting up to 20 to 25 miles per hour. That is a recipe for fire danger here across the area. Now, further to the northwest, Tyler, Emory, especially off into Hunt County and Hopkins County, we have an extreme risk for fire danger, and that's that's a result of that drier air, that cooler air, and of course those higher wind gusts. So we're going to continue to keep tabs on that. We're not expecting a whole lot of rainfall, at least within the next 24 hours, but we are expecting a lot more chances over the next 48 all the way into this weekend. As a larger system moves in, we could have a decent amount of rainfall, especially going into this weekend. Friday into Saturday, and especially into Saturday, I would say, is going to be our best shot for some decent rainfall. This is totaling up to the next 7 days. We have that potential to see at least 1 to 2, maybe even 3 inches of rain in some pockets here. So some very heavy rainfall certainly going to be possible, as well as maybe some gusty winds underneath some of the thunderstorms on Saturday. So we're dry for Wednesday, dry for the second half of Tuesday, isolated thunderstorms for Thursday, scattered on Friday, and that bigger system comes in finally on Saturday, and then a couple of showers possible for your Sunday, and then another wave of rain once again for your Monday. So we'll have to keep track of that.
All right, today's question of the day is all about music memories, whether it was a local show or a big name headliner, maybe it was the Wiggles. Like Joel over here. The first concert always sticks with you, so we want to know, what was the first concert you ever went to? I love what Leah had to say. She said Reba, but it was right here in Tyler. I can't believe Reba played in Tyler at some point. I have seen Reba. She is amazing, but it was not my first concert. It was much later.
I love it. Yeah, no, her voice is so good. I love the TV show as well.
Yeah. Okay, so tell me, you told me that Wiggles was the first one you ever saw. Now, do you remember the first one that you ever chose to go to?
It was actually Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Oh, that was your choice.
That was my choice. That was actually kind of a family choice. But that was when I started listening to, I discovered their music, and we are like, yeah, I definitely want to go. It was at the Palace of Auburn Hills, Michigan, which is no longer a thing.
Any other concerts that like sat with you where you were like, man, I'm so glad I saw that?
That was honestly, besides that, I didn't go to too many other concerts besides that. I did go to Winter Jam, which was over in Oklahoma City.
Okay.
So that was kind of fun.
I think the first one I ever really chose that I wanted to go to was George Strait. I saw him at the radio
cool.
many times, and it was so good.
Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
Me too. All right, well, we are about to step away for a moment to do our over-the-air broadcast cut-ins and give you a news update. We'll be right back with more right here on CBS 19 Plus. Good morning, y'all. I'm Dana Dixon. Thanks for being with us for this news update. A Tyler Barber is sentenced to 4 decades in prison for his role in a deadly fentanyl overdose. 28-year-old Calvin Spencer pleaded guilty to murder and drug possession after selling fentanyl pills that led to the death of Michael Crone last October. When deputies arrested Spencer, they found several guns and more than 1,000 fentanyl pills. 2 other men, Joshua Williams and Jason New, also pleaded guilty in connection with the case. Investigators say they tried to destroy Crone's phone to cover up what happened. Williams was given 5 years probation. New was given 10. Right now, a celebration of life is being organized for the 3 people killed last week in a Henderson County home. We have learned the suspect, 29-year-old Christopher Kyle Reed, who then crashed his van into a Buc-ee's and shot himself, is still in the hospital. 5 people were shot, but Kimberly Simpson, Connie Patrick, and Rodney Hammonds were killed. This Saturday, a celebration of life is being held in their honor at the First Baptist Church in Hubbard, starting at 10 a.m. Lufkin police are continuing their search this morning for a suspect linked to a shooting that left a teenager seriously injured. The shooting happened early Saturday morning in the parking lot of a dance club on South Timberland Drive. Now, police have released surveillance video showing a man pulling into the parking lot, walking toward the club, and then opening fire after a brief struggle. He then runs back to a truck while another man is seen taking off in a separate vehicle. Officers say a teenage boy suffered a gunshot wound to the stomach. He is recovering at a hospital in Houston. If you recognize the man in the video, call Lufkin Police. And a man is still behind bars this morning after arrest documents show he punched the Lindell chief of police in the face. Investigators say Andrew Hist attempted to drive down a blocked-off street Saturday night during the Piney Woods Wine Festival when Chief Dan Soames stopped him. Witnesses say Hist walked up and then hit the chief before being restrained. Hist was charged with assaulting a peace officer and resisting arrest. Let's get over to Joel now for an update on today's forecast.
Yeah, we're continuing to track some showers to move through East Texas, and they should be out of here by this afternoon, but that'll give way to plenty of sunshine and some much drier air into this afternoon, and of course some cooler temperatures. We'll see highs in the upper 70s to low 80s today, and on top of that, we got some gusty winds coming in from the north at about 5 to 15 miles per hour, potentially gusting up to 20 to 25 miles per hour. And there goes that humidity going way down into this afternoon and into the next couple of days until we get that increase towards the later parts of this week. And you combine all of that together, we have that risk for fire danger, even very high to even extreme fire danger here across East Texas, further to the northwest. With those ingredients in place, wildfires can spread very, very easily, so it is best to not burn anything. And plus, there are burn bans that still remain in effect until further notice. Now, luckily, we do have more chances of rain in the forecast Thursday, Friday, and especially Saturday with that 60% chance there. All right, let's get back into your forecast. Your next 7 days is going to be pretty dry, at least for the second half of today and for Wednesday. However, we have a couple of shower chances for Thursday and Friday, and especially going into Saturday. This is the big thing to watch for here. A larger system coming in. We could have a lot of rain with this, potentially 1 to 2, maybe even 3 inches of rain in some spots. So that's something we're going to be really paying attention to, alongside maybe some gusty winds. We're going to keep an eye on that as we go forward here, but expect a very nice day today. 80 degrees. We have that wildfire danger, unfortunately, with the dry air coming in, but otherwise it's going to be very comfortable. 80 degrees, all dry together. On Wednesday, we'll see highs near 82, and again, that moisture will start to increase Thursday and Friday, and especially Saturday with that larger chance of rain.
All right, on Sunday, over 200 dogs and their owners gathered at Carl Schurz Park to celebrate the annual Halloween Howl. Furry friends came dressed in all kinds of creative costumes, from tiny pumpkins to superheroes and some spooky ghosts as well. A panel of judges carefully scored each dog's outfit as excited crowds cheered and snapped photos. The event brought together pet lovers for a fun-filled day of Halloween spirit and community celebration on the Upper East Side. I always wonder,
I love it.
Do you think the pets really enjoy this, or
That's
is it for the people?
a great question. I think.
Is it for the pets or for the people?
Probably for the people.
For
yeah,
the people.
I literally saw a running pizza. That was so funny.
Isn't that cute?
I love that so much.
I can't even brush Millie's hair without her losing her mind. She's
Really?
like, please don't touch me.
No, can't imagine how she would react.
She likes
to this.
to cuddle, but she does not. So I can't imagine a costume on her.
Oh.
I think it would be a no.
Oh yeah, that would be a no from Millie.
But it is cute.
I love it. Very cool.
All right, thanks so much for continuing your day here with us on Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus. Catch the noon show coming up also on CBS 19 and CBS 19 Plus. And keep it here for the latest news and weather throughout the day. Here's a look at what's coming up. Have a great morning, and we'll see you dark and early tomorrow.